And now moving on to happier news, much happier news, Jewish matchmaking. They say if you can make 3 successful matches, you can ensure your place in heaven. Well, my next guest has made over 200 matches. Aleeza Ben Shalom is the host of the wildly popular Netflix show Jewish Matchmaking, and she is joining us now in the studio. So great to have you here.
So great to be here. And I'm still searching for the source that says you get a place in heaven after 3 matches. I haven't found it yet.
Well, I think after 200, you're pretty much guaranteed in. So, you know, your show on Netflix has been a smashing success. But I want to backtrack a little bit and hear from you how you got into the matchmaking business.
So I had 2 young kids at home, and I wanted to get involved with the Jewish community and do something. And my girlfriend said, "Oh, I'm a matchmaker online." And I said, "Ooh, what does that mean?" She said, "Well, you can just match people up. There's a website. The singles can't match themselves, but you get to do it." I said, "Teach me how." And that's how I entered the matchmaking scene.
Amazing. And so, you know, everyone at home, I think, wants to know, what is the success? You know, what is the secret to your success? And, you know, for making such successful long-term matches?
I guess my personal secret is to really listen, to understand who somebody is, to understand what they want, and to help them find it. And along the way, to give them relationship tools so that when they find it, they can keep a relationship for a lifetime. Because to me, it's not about bringing them together, or it's not only about bringing them together, but it's about making sure that they stay together for a lifetime.
And, you know, you have some, we'll say, very interesting people on your show, each with very specific demands, some, I would say, maybe a little far-fetched. So how do you deal with such demands, you know, like some that we've seen on the show?
So in general, if you ask people what they're looking for, you're going to find that anybody's criteria, or as you call it, demands, are very similar. And probably you, we all had these things that we really wanted in matchmaking and with our partner, but we probably were afraid to say, but it was still there in our heads. So I am never surprised about what people tell me. It's always like, "Oh yeah, of course, yeah, tell me more, what else is there?" I like to pull everything out, and then we just work with it. And I say, "Listen, we're gonna get you an amount of what you want. I'm not gonna tell you 100%, because our 100% is over the moon, it's too much, but we're gonna get you an amount of things that are in alignment with who you are. And when we find that, we're gonna work through the things that aren't in alignment and make sure it's something that you can manage and live with."
So we talk a lot about, you know, the matches that you make and sort of the positives, but what are maybe some of the red flags that you've seen throughout your career?
Definitely people who have habits that are not healthy. So people that have addictions or challenges with interpersonal communication. Definitely anybody that has spiky relationships where it's high, low, happy, sad, oh my gosh, this is wonderful, amazing. And people do what they call love bombing, and then all of a sudden they're gone, they ghost, they disappear. So we have to watch out for anything that looks or doesn't feel right, or that triggers our gut where we go, something's off. I don't know what it is, but something's not right.
And now, you know, the show is called Jewish Matchmaking. So I'm curious, you know, what do you think is something unique to Jewish singles or Jewish couples that sets them apart?
Judaism is so interesting because, as you see on the show, we have a wide variety of Jews. We don't all look alike, we don't all sound alike, we don't all speak the same languages, we don't all have the same color skin, and we don't all have the same outlook on Judaism and the world. And other cultures, other people, there may be more similarities. It might be a more homogenous group, and we seem to be this unique group where you could have Ethiopians and Americans and Europeans and Australians and South Africans, and there is not one stereotypical way of being Jewish. And so our unique challenge is to find a life partner who's in alignment with us, not just in the world, but within our Judaism and what's important to us. And I think that that's the greatest challenge.
Interesting. And, you know, you mentioned Jews from around the world, and I understand that you not only are doing your Netflix show, but you also have a world tour coming up. So what can you tell us about that?
I'm excited. I've always wanted to tour the world. I kind of thought I missed my moment. I thought I should have done it when I was single before I had a family. But we've decided to take matchmaking on the road and do what we're calling the live matchmaking show. And we go to different cities around the world, and we have first a little story, a little bit about me. You got a little insight from the show, but we dig deeper into my history, how I embraced my Judaism because I grew up secular, I became observant, how I got into matchmaking, how the show developed. Then we do a little Q&A to learn a little bit about the show, and then we literally do live matchmaking. We bring up 2 guys, we bring up 2 girls, and I train the audience how to be matchmakers, and I tell whoever's running the event, I'm like, lock the door, we're not leaving until we have a match for these people on stage.
Wow.
And I make the audience come up with the matches.
The audience comes up with the matches.
Yes, they do.
Wow, that sounds extremely interesting and exciting, and
Different every time.
yeah, would love to see that in action.
We're doing it tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight in Tel Aviv, we're doing it. We're gonna be in Chile, Argentina, Australia. We're going back to the United States, Montreal, Toronto.
Wow.
Maybe in the Orient.
Sounds very, very exciting. And in the meantime, I will continue watching the show. Aleeza Ben Shalom, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you for having me.